What's up, guys? I'm going to be playing an instructive 10-minute game where I'm going to try to talk through my thought process as I play. I say try to because if I get into time pressure, I may limit how much I'm going to talk, but I'm going to do my best to explain. So I'm going to play e4 because that's what I'm most comfortable with, and that's what I always play. So I'm not really thinking about this move. We're playing at 2097, and I'm rated 2210. I'm a little bit higher in blitz. Okay, so he's going to play the French. I'm going to play a line that I recommend in my course. It just kind of throws off French players. Okay, so he transposes to a Sicilian. I'm still going to play the line that I recommend in the course, which is the wing gambit. And we're going to see if we get an accepted. We do. Okay, so we're going to play a3. And this is something that I've studied, so I'm not really thinking much here just yet. All right, I am going to take with the rook, which looks like a blunder, but this is what I teach in the course, and there's a reason. And you're going to see, hopefully, in this game, the power of this bishop. And so we're going to play d4 and get the center. Again, this is kind of something that I've studied. And usually black will castle. There we go. We're going to play bishop d3. Again, not really thinking. I'm setting up my pieces in a way to attack the king. That's what's going on here. Talk a lot about this in the course. But essentially, we're going to be pushing e5 here probably soon and looking for a Greek gift sacrifice. D5 is pretty common, or also d6, yeah. So I'm debating if I want to play it right now or if I want to, let's say, castle first. Think about playing it right now takes, I think it's still okay. It's not as good of a version, I don't believe, as when they play d5, but I think it's still pretty good. I can also play c3 first and then e5. That's what I'm trying to decide on here. If I play c3, black's probably going to play knight here, then e5. Do I like those moves thrown in or not is really the question. I think I'll play it right away, and I'll have to check. I don't actually remember if it's better to play something else or play this immediately, but I am going to go for it. And with the sake of, for the sake of time, I don't want to just sit there for like 2 or 3 minutes in a 10-minute game. I'm going to need the time later, most likely, if we get the sacrifice here. Usually gets pretty complicated. But the point here is unleashing the bishop. We're going to sacrifice it, lure the king out. The knight comes in, and we try to checkmate the king. It's a very aggressive opening, and we see if black's going to be able to survive. Okay, so I believe now is the time. And here we go, folks. It should be, regardless of, if we win or lose, should be an interesting, fun game. That's really what I like about this opening. I don't win every single game I play, but I win a lot of them, and even the ones I lose, I have a good time, right? So here we go. If the king goes back, queen to h5, it's pretty much impossible to stop the checkmate. I don't think black can stop that. So they have to play king g6 here. And I believe what we're going to do is play queen to g4. Yes. Now, see, there's one move here. Queen takes d4 that I don't know if black can get away with. We have check. Then we can grab the knight. Yeah, I don't think so. So I'm going to play queen g4. And the point here is we're defending our knight, also creating an attack on the king. So this is like an immediate threat of check and win the queen, as an example. Usually black will play f5 to attack the queen, and then I think we just drop back. Although sometimes queen h4 is also a possibility. Although in this case, I think rook h8 is good for black, if I'm not mistaken. So I think here I'm going to play queen g3 just to maintain the threat. Of course, they can push again, but then we just go back to g4. This is something I've studied when I was preparing for the course, so I'm kind of already familiar with the tactics here and how they work. This is a good point. Like when you play a particular opening over and over again, you kind of get familiar with some of the tactics that show up in that particular opening. So I've seen this before, and I kind of know this idea, right? Like, oh yeah, this is what I'm expecting. This is also possible. The issue for black is that it leaves the knight undefended. And I think I would... Oh, he is going to go for it. Okay, so I think we can go check. The king has to move somewhere. And then we can snag that knight, and we still have a nice attack. Question is, do I have any better moves? like trading and then taking. 1, 2, 3. No, then I'm just still down the exchange, which is not good enough. So I want to keep pieces on the board. But I think this has to be the move. I guess queen g3 actually is also a possibility. But then knight to f5 looks pretty strong for black. So yeah, I don't think I want to allow that. I think I want to go here. King moves, I take this. There's going to be f5, but I have a queen check. Yeah, it's going to get pretty wild, but here we go. I guess black probably tries to run back this way, is what I'm anticipating. Although even that, see, now I have another option that I want to consider. Instead of taking that, I might go check and then knight g5. Do I have a forced checkmate? Can black stop that by defending the square? Queen here and queen here. No, because I would take the queen. Can the queen put me in check in a way that would force me to do something? No, everything is covered. Okay, so then let's see. Jack, king, f5 doesn't work. It's still checkmate. Knight g6. Rook over. Okay, so the rook could move. Check. King goes here. It's still checkmate, though, because of the bishop. I think we have a forced checkmate, guys. So I have almost 7 minutes on the clock. I believe the game is over. So I'm going to spend significant amount of time now just to verify that I didn't miss anything. So let's do it together. Queen to h5 check. King has to go back. That's a given. There is no other legal moves. You can't block it. Can't take my queen. Okay, so the king is there. My queen is here. Knight to g5. Very simple threat of checkmate immediately. None of black's pieces can defend the square. Nope, 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 nope. Only the queen, here or here, would defend. But my knight is sitting here. I would simply take the queen. That's good enough for me. Here, I would simply take it. Okay, can the queen put me in check? No, no, no. We already talked about this. Here, nope. I just take it. Same thing here. It gets taken. No good checks. The only other way, if you can't defend and you can't attack me, would be to run with the king somewhere. You could play f6 or f5, but it doesn't matter because my knight still controls that square. We have checkmate. The rook could move, would be the only one that I'm concerned about. But again, check. The king tries to run, checkmate. And it's important that the knight can't block because of this bishop. You see the power of this bishop. This is like a perfect game. Perfect example of how this opening works in practice when it works right for you. So I think that's it. I've double checked it. I have more time. I could spend more time, but I'm confident that that looks pretty good. So we're gonna go queen h5, and when the king goes back, we're gonna go knight g5. And you could, in this case, since I have plenty of time, you could recheck it again after you make this move, but I don't think we need to. It looks pretty. Oh, there's another move here I didn't consider, queen h4 to control that square, but of course we just take it, so it doesn't really matter. And black only has one legal move, so they have to play king g8. And then yeah, that's it. So good example here too of like, sometimes you see a good move, but it might not be the best move. And so I took the time to consider another idea that I knew was available here, and it actually is the one that leads to checkmate. So here we go, knight to g5. Again, I'm just kind of like scanning Blender check. Did I miss any obvious moves here? Any queen checks? But I don't believe so. That's it. It's over. There's a checkmate coming. Black can't stop it. So yeah, link will be in the description if you want to check out my course. We talk a lot about this opening, about the Greek gift sacrifice, as well as some of the other lines, that can come up with different options that black has. So definitely check that out if you liked this game. There you go. There's the resignation. So let's check the review real quick since we have some extra time here, since it didn't last very long. You're going to see a couple of mistakes and blunders, but that is going to be, there you go. Those are going to be from the opening, because the engine doesn't like that opening. So 87 and 77. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. So it's not going to like this move. Yeah, so that's one of my blunders, which, if you're playing this in a world championship match against Magnus Carlsen, it's not a good idea. But for like 99.9% of people who just play chess for fun, and even if you're competitive, this is a competitive opening, right? So, but you know what I'm saying, like, don't play in a world championship. Anyway, engine doesn't like that one. And it might not like my approach of e5 because there might have been a defensive resource for black, but it's extremely difficult to find in a game, as we saw. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, those are kind of the moves that it didn't like, right? Okay, sacrifice was okay. Knight g5, best move there. Queen g4. And so that was a blunder. That was not the move. Did I play the correct move here? Yes. And then we already talked about this. And let's just make sure it is a forced checkmate. Yes, only line here for black is to sacrifice the queen, and then you know the game goes on. But of course, basically it's over. So what black needed to play, like I kind of mentioned when we were analyzing this, was the move f5. Black didn't know or thought this was better. And then I was going to go queen g3, best move. f4. I was going to go back, and then let's see what black's defensive resource was. Yeah, so black actually could have survived in a couple of ways here. Just capturing actually is good enough. So, yes, I've seen this before. So, remember I said I was threatening to win the queen with the discover check? There's an interesting thing here that the bishop actually is going to be pinning my knight, so it turns out to be a big trade. And so I don't actually want to go for this. This is good for black. After king to f6, only move. And then if I take the queen, I'm just in trouble because of this. I would have to do this. And I mean, it's still a pretty fun position, right? I'm going to castle and I'm going to bring my rook over. And I wouldn't want to play black in this position. But according to the engine, it's playable. And so the better move here is actually knight to e4 check. I guess the king has to go back to f7. Queen to h. I mean, it's wild. It's super complicated to calculate all this stuff in a game. Queen h7 check. King actually does escape. Still looks super scary. I mean, look at this. Knight d6 check, even just castling. Again, I would not want to play black in this game. You know what I mean? Anyway, a lot of fun. I'm glad that worked out the way that it did. You got to really see why I play this opening and why I made a course on it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And probably do this again sometime soon. As always, thanks for watching. Stay sharp, play smart, and take care.